Hello, my name is Erick. I work in business development for Codilation. We're a team of website developers, software engineers, and just overall super nerds. We develop apps and websites in the obvious technology hub that is Fargo, North Dakota. That summary of my life sounds dreadful to most of the world, but I absolutely love my community and I love my job. Every week I meet incredible people who are absolutely inspiring. They have new business ideas or are spearheading giant projects to make our community better, or just are smarter than me and have great professional knowledge to share. I thought it would be relatively selfish to keep all of this information to myself, so I decided to start a little talk show. Welcome to my office.
My guest this week is Ian Beaton. He handles sales and marketing for Labor Masters, and he is just an overall great resource for me to know as a fellow salesman. He has a lot of great ideas and insights in sales, and we're going to chat a little bit about it this week. Welcome, Internet! I'm excited to be here, even though I'm unemployed. I'm with my guest, Ian Beaton. You have one of the more interesting sales brains out of anyone I know, and so I'm looking forward to our chat today. But before we get into all the stuff, Ian, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. Well, first, thanks for having me on. Like we were talking before the show, I watch all these.
You're such a fangirl.
I am. And you know what? I'm not embarrassed because it's awesome.
Wow.
And
thank you.
So no, it's thank you very much for having me on here.
You've been on my list of people forever.
Well, you have to say that. I'm sitting right next to you.
No, we talked genuinely last year around this time.
We did. So it's awesome to be on the show, and thank you for having me.
Yeah.
So like Eric said, my name is Ian Beaton. I'm the business director for Labor Masters, and I've been with them for 2 years now, and I cover everything from sales to marketing to client relations and anything else in between there.
You have this like really weird hybrid sales and marketing role, which I get.
We're in the same spot, kind of.
So yeah, we'll break it down to sections.
Sure.
Can you talk about your sales role?
So the best way to figure out what my sales role is to think about a baseball player.
Mm-hmm.
And the most well-rounded baseball player, they call a five-tool player.
Mm-hmm.
So a five-tool player, has power, batting average, speed, arm strength, and they can field.
Yep.
So in my position with sales and being such a small position and not having multiple departments, I've coined the phrase a five-tool salesperson.
God, you metaphorical genius.
So if you're a five-tool salesperson, if you're in the same position that both of us are in,
Mm-hmm.
you need to be able to prospect.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be able to find your own clients. You need to be able to follow up with your own clients. You need to be able to close those accounts once you get them.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be able to manage those accounts. And then you have to be able to market.
Yeah.
So I'm a five-tool salesperson.
And I'm a three-tool baseball player and salesperson.
So that, if you're looking at a hybrid salesperson, I think there's a lot more people out there like that
Mm-hmm.
that probably don't have the marketing department and the sales department and the follow-up and the SDRs and the BDRs and all the other acronyms that's out in the sales world.
Yes.
You have to be that person. You have to be that five-tool player.
Otherwise, there's an app for your job.
Right.
If you're
or else
not-
it's going to be, or else you're going to be done.
Yeah. And so that's a good metaphor. I love our conversations. That's the baseball one. I really enjoy that. So yeah.
Awesome.
So what's your best advice for someone if they're entering a sales role in 2020?
So when I was thinking about that question of what advice I would go back and tell myself, 8 years ago when I started in sales,
Mm-hmm.
what would I tell myself in 2020 or any new salesperson, or maybe it's somebody that's in sales now that maybe just needs to kickstart something. I had, 4 or 5 different ideas of what to write down, but then I really started to think about what makes a good salesperson. What are the elite salespeople doing?
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to find an elite salesperson who isn't passionate about what they're selling.
There you go. Oh, easy enough.
And it sounds cliche. I get it.
But it's true.
But you get the conversations of, you just find what you're passionate about and go make a living at it, or find what you want to sell and be passionate about that. And passion and doing what you like is the rage in 2020 right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I literally mean, to be an elite salesperson, you either need to have passion for the sales process and the sales game,
Yep.
or you need to be passionate about what you're selling.
Okay.
So, because you can't fake it.
No, and it comes. You can tell within a second of talking to someone.
Right. So
whether it's fake.
if you're a new salesperson, and my biggest advice to you is find whatever you're passionate about. Not baseball. I mean, if you're passionate about baseball cards, you can do that. There's not a huge market in Fargo for a
Yet.
baseball card salesman yet, but it could be you. Go find what if you're passionate about cars, go sell vehicles.
Mhm.
If you're passionate about houses, go get your real estate license and be a realtor here. Find what makes you happy and go and sell that. And what you're gonna find when you go and talk to salespeople, go find the elite car salesperson.
Mhm.
Go find that person and say, Eric, what makes you the best car salesperson in Fargo?
I don't sell.
They're
cars.
honestly,
There's reasons.
The person, they're going to look at you and they're going to say, I'm literally passionate about finding the correct vehicle.
Right.
Go find the number one real estate agent, the number one realtor in Fargo, and say, what makes you the best? They're passionate, legitimately passionate about finding the perfect home.
And it's super transparent when you meet them.
And you can tell the second you sit down with someone, they're trying to sell you something, they're trying to talk, you can't fake enthusiasm.
Right.
You can't fake the passion behind pitching a product. I don't like the pitch word, but pitching a product, you can't fake any of that. So if you're not passionate about the product or about the process, it's going to show, and then you're going to have a terrible time in sales. And that goes for somebody in sales right now.
Yeah.
Maybe you're sitting at your desk like, I can't do this anymore. I don't like sales. I don't like following up. It's starting to be a grind. I would say just breathe for a second, and maybe it's the product you're selling. Maybe it's the system that you're selling or the idea. Maybe it's just that. Maybe you need to find something different to sell, something you're more passionate about.
Yeah, I like that.
And just kickstart it, just restart it, because there's not a company in Fargo, and I could almost about guarantee every single company in Fargo is looking for a rock star salesperson.
Sure.
Because nothing gets done, nothing gets bought in the company without a salesperson selling it.
Sure.
Every company wants a good salesperson. They want a passionate salesperson.
I like that. Good answer. Good answer.
I mean, that's part of it. I enjoy talking to sales, and you could do a bunch of different advice. Avoid the noise. Pick a person to follow and try their stuff. There's 1,000 different things you could try in 2020. But if you're not passionate about the product you're selling, all of the other advice that you get from people is mute.
All right. So yeah, like what you sell. Easy enough.
Right.
And so yeah, so you do basically all the marketing for Labor Masters as well.
Right.
Can we talk about that aspect of your job?
Right. So that part of my job, sales, is one part, and the marketing is the other part. I'm basically our in-house idea guy.
Yep.
So I come up with an idea. Let's do this type of giveaway. Can we do this? Should we try this? Should we sponsor this type of team? Should we give money here? What can we do as a company to beat Google?
Yes.
I want Labor Masters to be the first thing that pops into someone's head before they have to Google temporary labor.
That is my marketing. Like you have to beat people's brain to looking online.
Absolutely.
Because then you'll find people who paid and have advertising budgets that are ridiculous.
Right.
And you're in trouble.
Yep. So my role in marketing is to come up with the ideas to get us in front of people. And sometimes, I'm very fortunate to work with the people in my office that will tell me when an idea is not very good. And then, I play the millennial safe space thing where like, I thought we could just throw ideas out and then we'd be accepted. But it's not the case. Sometimes I just need to be told that's not a good idea. And, but Nancy Kelly, my boss who I work with, is good enough to let me run with an idea.
Yep.
And then she's very good at flipping and playing the devil's advocate and saying, I like the idea that you have right here, but let's look at it, at this angle. What's the audience you're talking to? So she's very good at hearing my idea, letting me talk it out first. I mean, hear me out, and then shooting it down.
Marketing to me, it's like darts.
It is.
You're
absolutely.
just like, is this gonna work? Oh, I missed the board.
Right.
And sometimes you'll get a bullseye.
That's what makes it fun, though, is how can you get your company out in front of everybody? How can you get your name out? And just trying things, over and over, just trying something, letting it run for a little bit, and then maybe tweaking something a little bit, or maybe it's just a random dunk tank idea.
If you sell one, or like if you do one sale, usually your madness makes sense.
Yep.
So yeah, so we'll jump into the next question with that, and then what's your best advice for someone who's watching who has to market for a small business?
The biggest thing that I would give advice when you're working with a small business. I know no one likes to be labeled as a small business, but if you are in this area or you live in a medium to small market, you need to be where your audience is.
Sure.
And you can't be married to one channel or two channels. But you also have to understand the message that you're getting out. So right now, the huge thing is, should we be advertising on TikTok and Snapchat?
Terrifying. I don't know.
It's scary. I don't understand TikTok at all. Love myself some Snapchat. But if your audience is on TikTok and Snapchat and you're like, I am not getting on that, well, then you're not marketing to the correct
customer.
Channel, to the next customer. So my biggest piece of advice, if you're marketing to those people, is you need to be where your customers are or where they're going to be.
I like that.
Beat
them to the game.
Beat them to the game. Don't be married to the idea of one thing. Don't be just all radio or all print or all Facebook or all Twitter. Fill a bucket. If you know Facebook's your honey hole, fill that bucket up. I mean, blow it up. Blow Facebook up. Use the video, use the post, use the pictures, use the polls, use everything on Facebook, and then move to another area. Maybe it is Snapchat, maybe it is Instagram.
Right.
Fill a bucket first with the largest pool of where your audience is, and then move to the next. Move down, but don't be married to it. Know when to cut loose.
I like that. So yeah, we have very similar titles as business development people, and I think that's kind of how companies just say you're in sales and marketing.
Right.
You're one person, so that's So I made a little business chart, kind of going our roles and but there's our subtle differences, and it's a little Venn diagram here. And so we have the sales, marketing, and freaking insanity. And so you are the good one, which is just sales and marketing.
Right.
And then fictional characters, Michael Scott is insanity in sales, and then Tom Haverford from Parks and Rec is marketing and friggin' insanity, and I'm sales, marketing, and friggin' insanity.
You have the best of three.
I know. Well, I don't know.
Hey, first of all, anytime you can make an office reference on any sort of platform, I'm all for it. 100%.
I stole off. Yeah, we're just gonna wait till we get into Harry Potter stuff, and then I'll get in all sorts of copyright trouble. So.
Love it.
All right. So each week we kind of ask this question, and Ian, is there something that we can do to help you in your role at Labor Masters?
Just whenever you think you need an extra set of hands, or everyone has a sister or a brother or a cousin of someone who owns a business who maybe can't hire somebody full-time right now. Labor Masters, we supplement employee shortages by supplying temporary rock stars.
Yes.
For a day, for a week, for a month, for as long as your project lasts. If you're looking to help, spread the word. We can do all the sales, we can do all the marketing, but word of mouth is always the best. So if you need, we're that extra hand. We're the buddy you call that, hey, come over and help me move a couch and I'll
come
pay
over
you.
And help you on my talk show.
Right. We actually show up. we actually do that. So if you ever come across or hear a conversation of someone that needs help or needs an extra set of hands, or they are having trouble filling some type of position at their company, call our office. We have 4 rock stars that work in our office: Todd, Don, Nancy, and Vicky.
Oh yeah.
We'll help you out no matter what. I mean, we're here to help. So spread the word, let people know that we're around. That would be the best.
So yeah, if you need help and you don't want to go find an intern, which I did, but I probably should have just at least
awesome.
Should have made a phone call.
You don't want to put a phone in front of a
salesperson. Talk to Ian.
Right.
So one of the things you do better than most of the people that I know is you're a rock star on LinkedIn.
I love LinkedIn.
And you're one of 2 people that are weird enough to have their own sales video series. But I've watched all your sales diaries, and so yeah, can you talk about your sales diary video series? So
the sales diary was one day I just decided, hey, you know what? I'm just going to flip the camera on. I'm just going to talk about whatever was going on my day in sales, mainly because when you get on LinkedIn and you hashtag the word sales, there's 50,000 million different pieces of content of how you should be doing sales. Use this script and you're going to get a meeting no matter what. They're the worst and they don't work for everybody. And then use this follow-up technique and you're going to get a meeting. Use this line to close and you're going to get 100% close rate. And I see a lot of salespeople that were going down that path of trying to do everything at once, and they're just lost. And then you have portrayed salespeople of, Ferraris and suits. That's what you look at. Everyone drives a Ferrari and everyone has a suit. Well, guess what? For 99% of us, we are boots on the ground, door to door,
Right.
on the phone, follow up people. So the sales diary was just a diary at the end of the day. My goal for it was, if at any point of these, and I think I have 25 up there, 25 or 26, and it's really whenever something comes up that I want to talk about, the idea was maybe there's a new salesperson out there who's going through the same situation I am today. Maybe I made 150 cold calls and I got hung up on 133 of them, and I left voicemails on 17 of them.
Yep.
I want to talk about what I did, what I was feeling that day, and what I can do different the next day. So it was just an end of the day recap. I just want to let you know what the real world of sales is.
I like, we sell similar. I'm not a
Right.
5-star yet, or a 5-tool.
Right. So the sales
But
diary
I love
was,
watching them because it's good to. It's just really nice to relate on people, like, because it's not all sunshine and rainbows.
It's not. There's not a script that's going to solve all your problems, and that's what I wanted to get out there. And everyone watching and listening is like, there's no way I can turn the camera around on myself. And there's some people like, I don't care. It's the most awkward thing is to look at yourself and talk to yourself in front of a camera. And
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's why I'm like not looking. So, but then you're like, then you have some people like, well, I don't really care what people think. Well, here's a test. Go walk through the mall and film yourself talking to your phone and and feel the eyes on you, because you will instantly understand that, yes, you do understand and you do care that people are watching you. So that's tough. But you'll get through it. I think everybody should do
some kind of
diary of what they do on their day-to-day and put it out if you're selling some sort of product.
Yep.
Makes you relatable. It makes you the voice of whatever industry you're in. And you know what? People like seeing real people.
And my marketing strategy is to scream what you do from a mountaintop, be experts in your field, and be likable.
Right.
And so, like, that's not rocket science, but it is to execute it.
It is.
But I think having relatable videos and to say, this is what I'm going through, and it documents you trying.
Right.
And that's
the biggest thing.
What the elites do is they try everything.
Right, and they see it through. They give it time.
Yeah.
Like the sales diary was 0 views on the first video, but then you get up to 15, and then you get into your 20s, and then all of a sudden it's like, holy smokes, people are starting to see it. Then they go back and rewatch them.
And it's your
consistency.
But it's your audience, and you said find your audience earlier. Like that's people that'll sit through and watch that are the ones that are going to go to you before they go to Google.
Exactly. So build that. You can do it organically. Like LinkedIn is such a goldmine for information and people right now. It's just underused.
We should probably consider where we're putting these.
It is. It's an awesome platform.
It's on my list. So
put it at the top.
Okay.
I'll help.
You can't come down to the Nerdatorium and not get a nerd question.
Okay.
So I was creeping on your Facebook, and it says you're a Harry Potter fan. If we put the sorting hat on your head today, what house would you be in?
Well, you are a good Facebook guy, because I was trying to find where I had that, and I forgot I had it on there.
Well, that's because it probably happened in like 2008.
Okay, because it was very.
I have no idea, but like that's where I find my nerd questions. I do a deep creep. Like you like this at some time in your life,
and I still do. Now there's going to be Harry Potter people that are going to tear me apart for this. I haven't read one book.
Okay,
but I've watched all the movies, which is I know the book's always better. But anyways,
I know I've done both. I like the movies.
I love the movies.
The movies are so good.
The books are so big. So many pages.
There's so many pages.
I love reading, but I haven't read a book, so I'm sorry, Harry Potter fans, if you're watching. I'm sorry.
I'll get over it.
Okay. Are you a huge Harry Potter fan?
I just want to go to Hogwarts like every day.
So if I was sitting here and we put the sorting hat on, everyone wants to be in Gryffindor. That's you want to be with Harry. I don't want to be with Harry Potter. He's a troublemaker. He gets himself into trouble a lot, and it would just get annoying. I think I would get put into Slytherin. Now, hear me out.
It's not bad. They're the villains in the thing. And that's no, they're ambitious and
resilient and resourceful. is that kind of their main piece of the house.
Mm-hmm.
We are in a position right now where we need to be resourceful to sell.
Yeah.
We need to be resourceful with how we do things from day to day. And I think if that's the criteria to be in that type of house, then that's the house I'd be in.
That's your house. I would be in Gryffindor. And it's not, they get in trouble. I'm like, well, I get it. It's mischief.
Mischief,
It's
right. But it's good
mischief.
mischief. It always ends up good.
It's brave and it's mischief. But I've taken so many tests. And I'm usually in Gryffindor. Every now and then I'll sneak into Hufflepuff.
That's not a bad house.
I like standing on the edge of both. So yeah, it works out. So nerd questions usually is my like mental cue that it should probably be time to end the show. Do you have anything else?
I don't.
All
This
right.
is awesome. Thank you.
Well, yeah, help Ian by watching his stuff and giving him a call and not going to Google when you need a helping hand. Thanks for stopping down to the studio, and thanks for being just like a great resource actually for other people that are in our role. I really enjoy what you do, and I love all of our conversations. And so, yeah, have a good weekend,
Awesome.
everyone.
Thanks.
That was good.
Cool.
You Slytherin.
I knew that was going to get something.
Like I
I'm
said,
a Slytherin too, so don't even
That's what I'm talking about.
oh man, I am the troublesome person. Why is this being so weird? Oh, I'm fired. I'm fired from my own show. Oh, this episode started out great.